The one with the key to opening that thing was the husband. But he didn't always return from battle, did he? Sometimes killed. Left the missus with a bit of a problem if he never came home. There are records of women who are middle-aged still wearing that thing, by which time all the skin would have grown over it. You can imagine the clunky sound it made as he sat on the toilet. But she had an even bigger problem if that was locked on her and she was already pregnant. In those days, your only hope was a miscarriage. Here and here are two different forms of the scold's bridle. Scold's bridles were used on annoying female prisoners accused of witchcraft and on nagging wives. No, sir, sorry, they're not available in a gift shop anymore. Don't cry. Stop asking me. That thing, that macabre, sinister monstrosity is the worst. That thing was heated slowly over about 3 days until it was white hot, placed directly on the face. Then boiling hot water, oil or lead was poured through a funnel, going down the mouthpiece, glug, 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 right down the throat, cooking you from the inside. Imaginative way to kill someone. But ladies, there was some justice in those days. Make a wee card for me. In this cabinet is a torture instrument with a little white label underneath, saying, most painful anatomical device known to man. I stress the word man. They're called the ball breakers. Let the shape speak for itself. Squeeze, pop, splat. Ladies, I do have the key to this cabinet. See me after the tour. This one I don't like. Flesh tongs. They were initially designed for use on both men and women, tearing out any fatty or fleshy part of the body. But 5 years after this model came out, there was a new one designed exclusively for women, with a big spike running in between these claws. Without too much further detail, they were called breast removers. Gather round so you can see this one. This is their only oriental torture instrument. This one came from Japan. They're called the bamboo slivers. For this, I need a volunteer. You'll do? Hand it like this, please. These two sharp pieces of bamboo with sadly fake blood would be gently tapped underneath the fingernail. Now, as it was tapped in, the sensitive part at the end of the bamboo would bend over under the pressure. This was deliberate because it acted like a barb digging down underneath the quick of your fingernail to the joint, sometimes to the second joint with enough tapping, and then all you have to do is twist. Turn round and round and round and round, pushing the nail higher and higher and higher. Then with a quick flick, the nail flies off, hitting someone in the eye. You repeat this on the next finger and the next and the next until you've confessed your crimes. But the Japanese, clean hygienic, did not want your infected finger spreading disease around their neighbourhood, thanks very much. After they did this to you, they would immerse your whole hand in salt solution. Brine, in other words. Moving merrily on. More on fingers. These are called the thumb screws. Now, they worked by taking the quick of your thumb, the most sensitive part, and wedging it between these two pieces of metal, turning this down, tapping it. Now, that stopped the blood flow to the top of your thumb. Painful enough, like jamming your thumb in a car door, but the real pain arrived when you released the pressure and the blood flowed back into your thumb, filling the empty space. That's the same sort of pain as recovering from frostbite. It's excruciating. And they could repeat this over a week. Tighten it, loosen it, tighten it, loosen it, until so much blood had collected in there, the top of your thumb had swollen to the size of a golf ball. But here we have a smaller version of thumb screws with a very cute name. Periwinkles. Why would we need a smaller version of thumb screws?
Kids.
Children. Now, in the mid-1600s, there was a family, a whole family accused of witchcraft called the Balfours. And they picked on the 4-year-old little girl first. They thought it would be easier to get a confession from her. However, the torturer was not very experienced with children. He gave her the periwinkles, but he tightened them far too much. And she had little, small, sensitive fingers. When he released the pressure and all the blood flowed back in, the top of her thumb exploded. She died later of blood infection. The father of the family was given this. Now, sadly, this is a replica because it's missing a piece. It needs a large concave mesh cage going right over here. Now, Mr. Balfour was stripped to his waist. This was placed over his abdomen. A small fire was placed above it, obviously making that red hot, searing his skin. And some little cuts were made on his stomach. Not too deep, just enough to bleed. But on his bare skin, under this cage, was a large, starved, wild rat. The heat from the fire drove the rat insane. There was only one way it could get out. Now Mr. Balfour holds the record for surviving the longest of them. Instead of eating up through his arteries, it went the other way. Through this maze that was his intestines, there was no immediate arteries, and I'll give you one guess as to where it came out. That's why it's also known as the rat cage. Okay, that's cat for you. Get lost.